Hey there, Tech Intersect listeners. Have you ever encountered naysayers claiming crypto is too volatile, a total scam, or a hacker's paradise? Well, it's time to dispel these persistent myths and reveal the truth. It's exactly why I wrote Digital Money Demystified, available now wherever books are sold. And this book is your golden ticket from being crypto curious to radiating crypto confidence. Navigate the crypto world with clarity and conquer the chaos. Get your copy today to learn about my journey, separate fact from fiction, and maybe even embark on a transformative journey yourself. Don't stop there. Enhance your learning experience exponentially. Join the DMD Insiders Membership Club. It's a gateway to premier coaching, engaging community, and unparalleled content that complements the insights in the book. Together, we'll unlock the potential of digital money and stride confidently into the future. Visit digitalmoneydemystified.com, grab your guide to the crypto universe, and become an esteemed member of our Insiders Club. Let's decode the digital dollar and invest in your crypto-savvy future right now.
There are a lot of these online courses that have a lot of teachers, instructors,
Right.
and it's very homogenous. If you get into where there's thousands of courses, you may get, more diversity. But when it's curated, like Arlan's Academy is, it's very homogenous, and it's usually men, or it's white, or it's this, or it's that. And I said, well, how cool would it be to have all of this information that I know entrepreneurs, creatives, aspiring entrepreneurs would appreciate. And it's simply taught by a diverse group of experts. That's it. That's where it's like, let's go with this. Let's go with this.
Welcome to Tech Intersect. I'm your host, Tanya Evans, and my life and work exist at the heart of law, business, and technology. Yeah, I've earned a few fancy titles and degrees over the years, but the bottom line is I'm a writer, speaker, teacher, and lifelong learner, and I'm really excited that you've joined me on this journey. So what is Tech Intersect? Well, it's authentic, empowering conversations with really interesting guests who demystify complex topics to prepare you for the future, because your future is now, and it exists where law, business, and tech intersect. Get ready to listen, learn, and leverage. Let's get started. Hey, beautiful people. Welcome back to the Tech Intersect Podcast. I'm your host, Professor Tanya Evans, and today we're spinning the spotlight back to a truly inspirational chat that I had with none other than Arlan Hamilton, founder and CEO of Backstage Capital. Before we dive into that conversation, let's chat about something as golden as it gets in the financial realm. It's my favorite topic. You already know, Bitcoin. Why is now the right time to talk about Bitcoin? Well, we're seeing the crypto giant soar to new all-time highs. And guess what? The big banks, those that once doubted, are now getting in on the action. And it's a classic tale of if you can't beat them, join them. It's also do as I say, not as I do. And I want us to make sure that we are moving the way the banks do as more and more institutional money is coming onto the scene with a gangster lean, particularly after January 2024, when the Securities and Exchange Commission, led by Gary Gensler, albeit reluctantly, approved 11 exchange-traded funds based on the price of Bitcoin. So that shift, and some other things that are going on this year that I'm going to talk about, the shift is creating an unprecedented opportunity for everyday investors, or what they call retail investors like you and like me. So how do you get in without getting overwhelmed is a question that I receive a lot. And it's actually simpler than you might think, and more than the powers that be, and certainly those who are well-versed in tech and or finance might have you believe as well. I want you to do a couple of things. One, head over to advantageevans.com after the show. Access my free web training. We'll break down the Bitcoin basics, demystify the jargon, show you how to begin investing wisely, sidestepping the FOMO, the fear of missing out, It definitely has tripped up so many folks, but also fogey or the fear of getting in. That can be equally damaging if you are having or suffering from analysis paralysis, or you're just flagging it off as too difficult, too complicated, only for criminals, too volatile. All those things that I deal with in my book, Digital Money Demystified, and the things that we will go into when I share for the first time the full bounce framework of the Bitcoin bounce back. So again, after the show, go over to advantageevans.com, click on the button that will take you immediately to sign up for the webinar. And also while you're there, download the quick start guide. I think that'll help you get up and get moving in anticipation of the next webinar. Okay, now let's get ready to be inspired as we revisit my conversation with Arlan. She's been on the show twice, but it's been a minute. It's been a minute since she's been on. In this conversation, we explored the power of embracing opportunities in places that others might overlook. She calls us being underestimated. So this is your moment to shine, to learn, and to transform your financial future. So let's dive in and discover how to turn potential into prosperity. And let me know what you think. Follow me all around the web at IPProfEvans, and also visit again advantageevans.com. Let's stay connected. Let's go and let's grow. I am absolutely thrilled to welcome back to Tech Intersect Backstage Capital founder and managing partner Arlan Hamilton. She is the founder and managing partner of Backstage Capital, a venture capital firm dedicated to minimizing funding disparities in tech by investing in high potential founders who happen to be people of color, women, members of the LGBTQ community. She wears many hats, and most recent is the founding of Arlan's Academy. So because Arlan is back with us now, I'm going to drop a link to the previous episode in the show notes. You can hear more about her background, impact on the VC world, and underestimated founders, and her book, It's About Damn Time. But I invited her back to talk about the Academy in particular. I am also, I don't know if I can call it biased, but I'm in decidedly the camp of Arlan's Academy because I'm a proud instructor. And we'll talk about that in a moment. But first, Arlan, welcome back to Tech Intersect.
Well, thank you so much for having me back. I really appreciate it. And I'm a fan of the show.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it very much. Now, what I've been doing over these last few months is, before even jumping in, asking people how they are. I know for sure that you are dynamic, and you also seem to be an empath. There's a lot of energy flowing out of you because you give so much to the world. So I need to check in on you and see how are you doing just personally in the age of this pandemic, the racial injustice. And I know that you receive that in a unique way. So how are you doing?
Yeah, I appreciate that. I'm doing all right. You know, I put the energy out there and I receive it back tenfold. And so that's the way it works. I do find myself feeling pretty exhausted at the end of each day, emotionally, not so much physically. Right. And I try to keep a real close look on how I'm doing. A little bit of that is age has taught me that, you know, just a little bit more years of learning and understanding that you can't be everything to everybody. But I definitely have this a unique perspective because I do speak to, I don't know, hundreds or thousands of people every day and things that I do and take on a lot of that. But I'm doing well, and I'm feeling optimistic through it all.
I certainly do as well. And I know that there are better days ahead. And like you, trying to find, I'm really intentional at this point in time, focusing on the mundane, finding the beauty in just the ordinary experience of whatever my day is, particularly if I'm not outside. I'm usually energized by nature, and I'm not out nearly as much as I used to be. And so finding other ways to find simple joy has been really helpful for me to really stay in the moment, because so much of what I do is figuring out what I just did and preparing for the next thing, as I know for you as well. But sometimes I just have to sit still. And my words this year have been space and grace, and also pacing myself. So So I
Yes.
suspect that you're there as well. Excellent. But it's great to hear your voice and also to hear that you and yours are well. So let's talk about this latest passion project. I can hardly believe I'm going to use the word just, but it's anything but just. But I know recently I've heard you describe Arlan's Academy as a passion project because you actually do have a day job, a couple of them.
Yeah,
So
a couple of them.
talk to me about that. Talk to me about this latest.
Yeah, it's a passion project. I have so much fun with it. Arlan's Academy. The way it started is back in April of 2020, just a little while after we all started quarantining and staying off of these trips, these business trips. I also lost a lot of money in March. 2020 was going to be a big financial year for me. And coming from a place, just 6 years ago where I was completely broke, that was a big milestone. It would have been for anybody. And so I lost a lot of money, and I thought, that's okay. We have more years. We're going to just keep going. I was just releasing my new book. It's about damn time at the same time. And I said, what can I do that generates revenue, personal revenue for myself, so I can, maintain a lot of the things, the caregiving and all the things that I do, but also is just actually really fun. And I just decided that, I've done a few really interesting things in the past few years, and I'm sure some people can gain some knowledge from that. So I just decided to start an online course. And I did a lot of research about it for a few weeks and just really fell in love with the idea. I started recording the course. It got almost immediate great traction and great reaction to it. And I love the medium. I love being able to build out the coursework and the blueprint and then go off of the dome and record it on video and on audio and all those things that I had to teach myself to do. And in those first 6 months, I earned about $100,000 total, and with a pretty high profit margin.
Amazing.
Like almost all profit. And I thought, well, I want to do more of this, but I don't want it to be just me talking. I don't want it to just be from my point of view.
Right.
I want it to be from a lot of people's point of view. And I also, at the same time, I noticed by doing all this research, you could see there are a lot of these online courses that have a lot of teachers, instructors, and it's very homogenous. If you get into where there's thousands of courses, you may get, more diversity. But when it's curated, like Arlan's Academy is, it's very homogenous, and it's usually men, or it's white, or it's this, or it's that. And I said, well, how cool would it be to have all of this information that I know entrepreneurs, creatives, aspiring entrepreneurs would appreciate. And it's simply taught by a diverse group of experts. That's it. That's where I was like, let's go with this. Let's go with this.
That's powerful because it takes the best of the intention for Backstage Capital and then recasts that approach in what I describe as the future of education. It's always shocking for me, as I'm a professor who earned tenure some years ago. I'm in my 14th year of teaching in the legal academy, but I also know that the future of education is not this formalized, pay $1 million, go through all of these years of training in one place, right? It's about skills and credentials and, the buzzwords of upskilling and reskilling, but those points are well made. And so to have an online experience in this way, and I'm looking at the page right now, it's some kind of wonderful, Arlan, because, to see.
And we're just getting started. Isn't that the cool thing? We're just getting started. So you were actually part of the very first wave.
I love it.
Of it, the ground floor founding of this, I went to high school. I graduated high school. I was an honor student and all those types of gifted and all of that, but I didn't go to college. It wasn't for me. And so kind of rediscovering this ability to learn, because I've always wanted to learn so much all the time, always curious. And it's like, you're right. This is the future of learning and of education. And people have been saying it for a while, but I'm definitely jumping on that bandwagon and understanding it now.
Yeah, I am one of those lifelong learners who signs up for many, many courses. I dip in, I dip out, I get what I need in the moment. But I love being able to 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, go and learn something that for any reason or no reason at all, getting back to kind of the origin of what people would consider to be the liberal arts education, but having that be meaningful for me in Web 3.0, how it's data-driven and tech-driven. And so I see a lot of that with some of the titles here. I'm going to mention a couple of them and you give me your feedback about why you chose these particular topics at this particular time. So I'm looking at, of course, how to give your company a valuation with Julia Quintner. And I see podcasts like the pros. I'm going to have to jump in there as well. Strategic PR for independent companies. Obviously, my course From Cash to Crypto. When I remember those being kind of some of the first ones to hit the scene.
Yes.
And also Camille's course, Why Cash Flow is Queen. Love. So talk to us about those courses and why you selected them.
Yeah, and I think it's important to mention here too, don't want to jump the gun or anything, but it is important to mention that you can take these courses individually, buy them individually.
Yes.
But my favorite part of this is that you can buy a tuition and have access to all of these courses for one price. Or you can even do monthly, because I wanted to make it accessible for the students or for people like myself a few years ago who I wouldn't have been able to do it unless it was monthly.
Right.
So that's what makes it so exciting to me, is that when we add things to the site, you can jump over here, like you said, dip in and dip out of different courses, whatever is right for you at the time. So you don't have to only, depend on one of the courses working for you. Those particular ones that we started with put out a call. Actually, Camille was the very first person I asked to be on the course because I had spoken to her a few times and I knew how much she had to offer. Her Cash Flow is Queen course. So Cash Flow is Queen, she breaks it down. Everybody, actually, every single one that you mentioned, including yourself, break things down in a way where I can understand it, where I don't have to have gone through 4 years or 8 years of schooling like most of the people talking did to understand. You really have a great way of reaching people. And that's something that I try to do too, is like talk to people where they are. And I chose these because I thought, what kind of, what would I want in my toolkit if I were starting a company, or if I had already started a company, but I felt stuck.
Right.
Like my flagship course is how to raise capital for your company from scratch. And we also talk a lot about bootstrapping, and it's a much longer course and it's, really in depth, but it really is sort of these complements to that course of what would I want to know. And then you think about, I had someone just mention recently that he raised $100,000 after taking my course. And when you think about people who are then going on to raise, when you talk about, well, what's next? What is the future of cash?
Right.
What is the future? So it's a lot of foundational things, and then a lot of things that people can refer back to at different parts of their journey. I watch every single video. I listen to every beat before I put it online because I want to make sure that it's high quality before I put it out.
Are you feeling overwhelmed by the constant stream of dire climate news? Turn that concern into action. Tune in to the Climate Confident podcast every Wednesday morning when I bring you good news and real solutions from the front lines of climate action. Whether you're in business, tech, or just passionate about sustainability, the Climate Confident podcast is your weekly dose of optimism and inspiration. Subscribe to Climate Confident on your favourite podcast platform and start your Wednesday with hope and actionable insights.
Have you ever found yourself puzzled, wondering if cryptocurrency is just a fleeting trend, a scam, or perhaps the future? Hi, I'm Dr. Tanya Evans, and I'm here to introduce you to my new book, Digital Money Demystified, your ultimate guide to deciphering the crypto maze. As a legal policy and crypto education expert, I've crafted this book to cut through the chaos, debunk the myths, and tackle the FUD. That's fear, uncertainty, and doubt. From captivating headlines to meticulously sourced data, I guide you through the promises and the pitfalls of digital assets. With 12 chapters and 10 myths dispelled, Digital Money Demystified is designed for investors, business owners, and professionals eager to navigate the digital economy. It's more than just a book. It's a tool for economic empowerment that directs you safely and confidently from cash to crypto. Say goodbye to bewilderment and hello to enlightenment. Transform from crypto curious to confident, sidestep those scammers, and embrace the future of work, wealth, and creativity. Grab your copy of Digital Money Demystified today at the book's companion website, digitalmoneydemystified.com, or wherever books are sold. This is the right book, the right voice at the right time. Don't miss out on the digital revolution. Stop by digitalmoneydemystified.com now. That was one of the most impressive parts about it. There are many things. I love as much as you are giving to people in order to make it accessible with the various models and the lower price point, probably lower than any of these courses if they were individual and outside of this particular context. So I love that. But you're also supporting us, we who are subject matter experts, to reach a different audience.
Yes.
One, we have concentric circles to be sure, but you're really empowering us as well. And I want to make that point that I was really excited when I remember seeing a tweet, because I live in Twitter. I suspect you do some days too. And when I saw it, it was a complete no-brainer. I had no time to really do it, but I had every reason to do it and to make the time, because this was going to be really important and impactful. And it was a way, because my larger From Cash to Crypto course is, that longer experience that you have in how to raise startup capital. Right. So lessons, and it's very labor intensive really to show up for live Q&As and all those things. So you gave me the opportunity to create a smaller version where I could still make an impact.
Yeah.
And if somebody wants to, get into the full experience, that's great. But I wanted them to have everything in one place. If they never took another course from me, I wanted to make sure that I added value in 90 minutes or less. You were very clear about that part too.
Yeah,
like, oh Lord, how am I going to do
that is what people have time to do on a weekend or check out in one sitting. And I look at it as, you taking all these, imagine you are this lifelong learner, and that doesn't mean that you had to go to college or that you had to be particularly good in school.
Right.
It varied depending on what the subject was. But imagine you open up this menu and you can take some fundamental 101 or 102 classes to learn certain topics and see, do I like that topic? And then, as you say, you give people the ability to go all in once they decide, yes, I do. And I did. I mean, with every topic, I said, okay, I want more. I want to learn more. But of course, we all have our schedules. We all have life. People have kids. People have jobs. And so the idea that this is a year-round school that is open wherever you are, as long as you have access to the internet, you have access to this curriculum,
right?
And then you can go back and research, what was that thing I wanted to check on? Okay, that's right. I want to go and check out Tanya's full course.
That's fantastic. And one of the greatest compliments that I received about the content has come from you. And you have seen it all. You've seen it all in the space. Obviously, you know about cryptocurrency and blockchain and all of these things. So it was very heartening to hear that you felt like you were better off after seeing the information that before you went in. Can you talk about that experience?
100%. I mean, I have, for the people who didn't see the first or hear the first episode, I'm a venture capitalist. I'm an angel investor and an LP in funds. So I've invested in more than 160 companies through my fund, and then invested in other people's funds and other projects. And of course, I'm surrounded by capital. I had to do this, the past decade has been just learning everything I could about this world, but I didn't know anything about Bitcoin or cryptocurrency. I mean, I knew the terms.
Right.
I knew that I made sure that a few years ago, my mom got a little bit of Bitcoin and a little bit of Ethereum, because I knew that something was bubbling, because I tend to have that radar, but I hadn't really, it had felt very overwhelming to me in a way that venture capital used to feel. It felt very foreign and very much so built for somebody else to understand. Of course, in the idea of putting you on the site, I like I said, I watch every single video, every minute of every single video. So I watched it and I came out of it and I was like, oh, I can understand that. That's foundation. I can understand where it comes from. And, the more that you watch something, the more that you surround yourself with something, the more you're going to absorb it and understand it. And that's just how learning works. But to be able to go from, I think it was a Saturday night, I think it was, and start at 8 p.m. And by 10 p.m., I knew what I could have learned in an entire book or an entire course that I went and took for 6 weeks or something like that. That is powerful. And then I remember listening to it and watching it again a few weeks later, just a handful of weeks later, because I just personally wanted to learn more as I heard more about Bitcoin in the news. So let me go back and watch it again and see what I now understand more than I did before. And I feel that way about all the courses, but of course, Bitcoin, cryptocurrency, you want to feel like you are in the know and feel like you're not being taken advantage of, because some of this can sound like it's not on the up and up.
Absolutely.
And so to have you say with every video, be careful, please watch the video and understand it before you go out there and try to put some money down. There are people out there who are not on the up and up.
Right.
You do it from a professorial point of view, not from a, hey, I want you to come over here in the corner and see what I got for you.
Right.
And so that, to me, that part of it too is so important, because I would never expose my audience and my reputation to something that was shady.
Right.
Or that I knew that was shady. Right. And so to have that, I'm like, this is something I in fact did texted my mom and I showed it to her. And I said, please go through this course.
That's amazing. And that is exactly the reason that I do what I do. And I focus too on traditionally or historically underestimated folks, Black and brown communities, women. I'm a member of the LGBTQ community as well. And just making sure that whatever you do, I do not have a coin to shill. I do not have a vested interest in the outcome. I come, as you said, from that education point of view, and everyone that I haven't watched everything at the Academy yet. It is my intention to do so. But your point is well made. You are not going to put your reputation on something that is you've taken all this time to build it up. A reputation will disappear just like that overnight. And I approach that in the same way. I take being a lawyer very seriously. I take being an educator very seriously. I am the chair of the Maker Foundation. And so I don't even talk about that in the course other than to say it. People should know that I serve on the foundation. I'm not speaking for the foundation. I'm not talking about those coins at all. I think it would be inappropriate to do so. I want people to be empowered so that they can move forward, as I say in the course, safely and confidently. Because once you have information, you get to make a new decision. And that's why your platform is so powerful as well, because you get a little bit of this, a little bit of that.
Yeah.
I love everything about it. I want you to share the vision of where the Academy is going, because I know this is where we are now, and you intimated a bit earlier, but where do you intend to take Arlan's Academy from here?
I want to see where it takes me. What I do know is that every single week for 2021, we will add at least one new course that will be somewhere between 45 minutes and 2 hours, so that you can take your Saturday or Sunday or some evening and take an hour and learn something new, and that people can jump in anytime and have that full access and have that full pond of information. I know that every single day there's interest in the Academy. And so I see that growing. I know that we have monthly, when you become a purchase tuition, whether it's monthly or full access, you get monthly office hours, and that I'm always attending and I always answer questions. And then we have guest appearances by experts now starting this year, because we now have the Academy. And so that in itself, a lot of these experts, including myself, it would cost hundreds of dollars to have, or even more, to have an hour with them to answer questions or to listen to them answer questions. That is an incredible amount of value. I don't know what your speaking fee is, but I know mine domestic is $50,000. Right. So to have me and bring on my friends who are experts, I mean, that's worth it. In my opinion, that's worth figuring out the $60 a month. I don't even know if you know this or not, but for the past 2 weeks, your course has been the most popular course on the Academy as an individual course.
What?
Yes. So, I can see those numbers behind the scenes, the dashboard. And so your course, it's because of the interest in Bitcoin, but it's also because people, when they hit that first video, they could go away, but they stay because of the information they're getting. So it's just really cool to see that data as well. I just welcome everybody to join, come check it out. And I will see you at the office hours. I'll see everybody online, and leave comments and feel at home. This is our Academy together, and anybody is welcome, and anybody can start at any time.
I love it. I appreciate how you move in the world. I thank you for your support and all that you're doing for folks. So let's continue to nation build. I will see you in those Twitter streets. And thank you as always.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for listening to the Tech Intersect podcast. I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you love it, please tell the world. If not, go ahead and tell me. And in either case, drop a comment or ping me on social media at IPProfEvans with the hashtag Tech Intersect. And finally, a quick reminder on digital safety. There are a lot of scammers out there impersonating me and others, and I need your help. Now hear this, and remember, I will never slide into your DMs to say peace and blessings or hey, and I will never reach out to solicit your time or your money on social media like ever. I'm not a trader. I am an educator and an attorney licensed in 4 states. Thank you very much. I'm here to inform, inspire, and empower. No cap, and definitely no Forex. So be careful, make good choices, and remember, I developed an entire free masterclass about the topic of digital safety in the crypto space. So check out secureyourcryptobag.com for more information. That's secureyourcryptobag.com. All right, that's all for this episode. Until next time, continue to shine.